blend this lighter shade into the darker one. Hi lovies, how you all doing? It's good to have you back. So in today's tutorial, I'll be walking you through on how to achieve a perfect eyeshadow, the steps to take, and the things to do, the necessary things you must do if you want to achieve a perfect eyeshadow. So if you're coming across my video for the first time, my name is Joy, and please don't forget to subscribe. Without wasting much of your time, let's just dive into this video. In getting a perfect eyeshadow, the first thing you want to make sure of is that your eyelid and your under eye have the same color. If you check the eyelid, just like mine is breaking up right now, all I need to do is to take this concealer I used to highlight my under eye and make everything to be the same. So I'm going to take my concealer right now and apply it on my eyelid. Apply it here, and of course give it some time to get tacky before I will blend it out. This is the first step to take if you want to have a smooth eyeshadow, the one that will pop after doing it. You don't want to start your eyeshadow application on an eyelid that is darker than every other part of your face. No. Before you start doing anything, make sure that your eyelid have the same color as your under eye, that everything blends in together before you start your eyeshadow application. The next thing is what you want to use as your eyeshadow base or your eyeshadow primer. You can use eyeshadow primer for this, or you can use your concealer. But if you're using a concealer, don't use a concealer that is too runny. Use a concealer that is thick, so that it can hold your eyeshadow together. So for the purpose of this video, I'll be using my Benang Clown White eyeshadow primer. This is what I'll be using as my eyeshadow base. If you want to use this as your eyeshadow base, you have to apply just a little quantity, because when you apply more of it, it's going to break your eyeshadow. It's going to destroy everything for you. Just a little goes a long way. Just a little of it, and make sure you blend it so well, like I will so do in this video. To apply that on my eyelid, I'll be picking it with this my blending brush that I used to blend my concealer. I'll just take just a little and then go ahead and apply it and blend it very well. You see the quantity I used, just little. You see the little I took, but it's doing the work. Blend it so well. The work of this eyeshadow base is that it's going to make your eyeshadow to pop. There are some eyeshadows that can pop out on their own without an eyeshadow base, like eyeshadows like Juvia Place. Yes, they can pop without an eyeshadow base. But if you notice that the one you have, that your eyeshadow doesn't pop well without an eyeshadow base, then you certainly need to get an eyeshadow base so that the work will be done well, so that your eyeshadow will start popping out so well. Putting this on your eye, you're just going to give it few minutes to dry. You're just going to give it few minutes to dry before you start the eyeshadow application. To start the eyeshadow application proper, the first thing you need to apply is your transition color. Transition color is the color that you're going to put on your crease. It's the color that will stand between your eyelid and your brow area, your brow bone, like the brow area. That is a transition color. And to put this transition color, you don't need a big brush for it. You need a brush that can comfortably work down your crease without spreading every other thing anywhere you don't want it to be. And that is why I'm going to be using this elf detailed crease brush for it. I'll be using this elf detailed crease brush for it to do the transition. You can see what it looks like here. It is not big, it is just small. It can fit into any type of eyelid, whether your own is too small or bigger than mine. So you don't need a brush that is too big, else it's going to take the color to your brows, or it will take it down to your eyelid. So I would advise you get this brush or a brush like it if you don't have it. So this particular one is from elf. So this is what I'll be using in this video. So for my transition, I'll be going in with this natural color. I will put it just right here on my crease, just right here on my crease. You don't need to use colors like green, yellow, red. No, you need a neutral color, a natural color that can do the job for you, that will stand in between your brows and then the eyelid, just like I have just done here. There is one rule, one golden rule when doing your eyeshadow. The lighter shade must not come at the outer corner of the eye. No, the lighter shade should go to the inner corner while the darker shade comes to the outer corner of the eyes. Yes, except in a case where you're doing a smoky eye, that is when you can use a darker shade everywhere. And maybe when you're creating an editorial look, you want to create a certain kind of look, editorial, like fashion look, stuff like that. Yes, that is when it's allowed for you not to follow this rule. But if you're doing your normal makeup or client makeup, please make sure you follow this rule of the lighter shade coming here and the darker shade at the outer corner of the eye. Okay, moving on with the eyeshadow application. So I'll be going in now with a darker shade, and I'll be using this brush is quite big, so you have to be, anyway, it's not a must that you will use it. So if you want to get, if you don't have already, if you want to get, you can get a smaller one. But it's a blending eyeshadow brush, like you use it to apply matte eyeshadow and you blend it. If you watch this shade, it is not dark. If you want to create a very dark one, don't first start with that very dark shade, else you're going to make a mistake. First go in with a dark shade, but not as dark as the one you want, right? I'm done applying this color, and looking at it now, I want it darker. This is what I am going to do. I am going to go in with a shade that is a bit darker than this one I just applied. Like I said earlier, don't start with a very dark shade. Build it up, build it up. Like that, you will get exactly what you want, and you will get an eyeshadow that looks flawless. And I'm going right on top of this one I applied before. Are you seeing it? Don't forget to blend to avoid harsh line. And please, when you pick your eyeshadow, hit it somewhere to dust off the excess if you picked too much, and then you go ahead and blend. Sorry, I haven't touched the inner corners of these eyes. I'm still working on the outer corner of the eyes, so I still want it a bit darker. What am I going to go now? I am going to go in with a shade that is darker than the one I just applied. So you see how I'm building up this effect that I want. You see how I'm building it up. So I'm just going to go in and pick this dark shade in. Are you seeing it? Can you see that we've built up a darker outer corner? Can you see? And you see how this thing is fading into this place, because we first started with a lighter brown, a darker one, then this very dark brown, but still not black. I haven't added black to this, and I am not going to add black to it. At this point, if you want it to be dark, you can go ahead and add your black. But in all these things I'm doing, I have not touched here. Can you see? I have not touched it. So now that I'm satisfied with how dark this place is, we are going to move on to this place before we come back to everything. So now we are going into the inner corners of the eyes. I'm still going to use this same type of brush, but not that one I used before. Don't use the brush you used to pick a darker shade to pick the lighter one. No, don't do that. So I am going to go into the color I want to use at the inner color of this eye, which is this light shade. This is the color I want to use here. Can you see that? And then make sure you blend it into the other one. Blend it into it. You also build it up. Like I forgot to mention, there are steps to applying your eyeshadow. You put it and then you layer it and then you blend it. It is called setting, layering, and then blending. After putting the color you need at the inner corners of your eye, then you go back to that first shade of brown that you used before. You're going to use it to blend in everything. Blend this one, this lighter shade, into the darker one. Now that I'm done blending the inner corners of the eyeshadow, the next thing I'm going to do is to blend this other side. If you watch, if you look here, you'll be seeing harsh lines, and we don't need that harsh line. I need to blend it, and to blend it I am going to pick that same brush that I used, that my crease detailed crease brush that I used on the crease. I am going to pick it and pick that same transition shade that I applied. That is the shade I am going to use to blend this outer corner of the eye, so that it will blend well with the eyeshadow, with the eyebrows, and then this other part of my face. Okay, this is it. This point, if you don't want to use this eyeshadow you used at the crease, another thing you can use to blend it is your powder. Just like I told you that you can use your powder as a transition color, so that's the way you can still use your powder to blend it. Can you see that this harsh line we had here, the harsh line is gone? Can you still see the harsh line? If you're still seeing it, still go back to that shade or your powder and then still do what? Blend it all out. After adding everything you need to add, you just take this your blending brush, this crease brush or blending brush. You now smudge the under eye with a darker shade of the eyeshadow. And then after doing that, pick your beauty sponge, this edge of it, take it and pick a powder. It can be your powder, it can be a certain powder, and then you use it to lift the eyeshadow. You use it to lift the eyeshadow just like this. Use it to lift your eye or the eyeshadow, anyone you call it. And then you do the same on both eyes. Do the same on both eyes to create that sharp edge there, to create that sharp, to define your eyeshadow more. Like this is where my eyeshadow stopped. Okay, you do that, but you don't have to make it to look too obvious that people will know that there is a line there. No, just like I've done, it's more like an invisible line. Okay, it's like it's not there but it's there. Then you take your brush and then dust off excess anything that you have there. Dust it off. And then your eyeshadow is done. And with that, my lovers, we come to the end of this tutorial, and I'm sure that you have learned how to do your eyeshadow. And don't forget the steps. I said what? The setting, the layering, and then the blending. If you follow these steps I've given you, you're going to end up with an eyeshadow that is well blended. So if you watch this video up to this moment, thank you so much. And don't forget that your eyeshadow is not the only thing you need to know about your makeup, and that is why I have put up this video up here to help you on how to highlight your face perfectly and get the best out of your concealer. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and turn on the notification bell after subscribing to my channel. And please don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section if you have any issues with makeup or there's any kind of video you want me to do for you. I will gladly do that. See you in my next video, my loves. I love you guys. Bye.